All right, let's go to Kelly in Somerville. What's up, Kelly?
Hi, Dr. John.
How are you?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
Dude, that's so much better than I am. You just made me go from to pretty good.
Oh, good. Glad I could help.
That you're fantastic is bringing us all up. Kelly, I was fantastic earlier. Kelly has this way of dragging everybody down. But not really. That's not true. That's not true. It's super true, Kelly. It's super true. Hey, I'm so glad that you called. What's up?
Me too. So I'm trying to figure out what's going on with my 11-year-old son and food. He has some very weird behaviors. He makes grunting noises. He blinks rapidly, almost like facial tics. He becomes fixated on food, always asking what the next meal is and when is it. He gets upset when I say no to eating extra desserts. I'm wondering if it's food scarcity issues, and I'm trying to understand how to walk him through this without shaming him. I'm not sure what the best way, to point out the noises to him, or is that going to make him self-conscious? So I'm just trying to get clarity on what is really the root of his issues with food and how to walk it out with him.
Oh, man, thank you. So you mentioned might be food scarcity related. Tell me more about that. Is there something in his past?
Yes. My ex-husband put us through financial issues constantly. And there were often times when we had a negative balance in our account and I couldn't buy food. I had no food.
Okay.
And so he remembers a specific incident when all I had was a potato and some cereal to give him. And he brought that up a couple of weeks ago and said, I thought you were just too lazy to go to the grocery store. He was around 5 when that happened, but he remembers it quite vividly. So I'm wondering, is that what this is about? Is there something else going on? And what do I do?
Yeah. So, man, there could be a bunch of stuff here. I'm going to take a stab at it, and I'm going to open this up to any therapist who listen to this show, and I hear from you a lot of you. I'd love for your thoughts too. Here's my guess. Just listening, just talking with you for a couple of minutes, okay, Kelly?
Okay.
Well, before I give you my guess, let me ask one more question. Was there any abuse inside the home?
You would probably call it abuse. My husband yelled a lot. He would throw high chairs when he would get angry or whatever was around him. He never physically touched me or the kids, but he had a lot of anger issues.
Okay. How old's your little one?
My youngest is 6. My one I'm talking about is 11.
11. Oh yeah, you told me that. 11. Okay. Okay. So, let me say that there's several things here. There's the grunting. There's the tics. There, which is often a body's way of just dealing with stress or with anxiety, right? And so I don't overthink that. I use that as a symbol, as a signal to me, okay, of a greater internal distress. So you have the yelling, you've got the food insecurity, your son's got these, I'm going to call them stories, not memories, because he's now creating a new narrative of what happened inside of what actually happened and using that to reinforce his, you see what I'm saying? So it takes on a life of its own, to where his body is remembering these stories less that they're a play-by-play. And in a couple of years, he'll tell you another story, and you'll think, I'm crazy. I was there. I know that didn't happen. And he will remember it as vivid, right? So it's about story, right?
Okay.
Our bodies our minds are story-making machines, and they do that on the back end of how we feel, right? So we have these feelings, and our bodies make stories. And I think his body is responding to, this is, again, I'm just throwing this out there, I think his body is responding to a life of chaos.
Okay.
A life of, I'm not safe, I'm not safe, I'm not safe. And let's just take him at his word. Dad was throwing furniture around.
Yeah.
Dad was probably radioactive even when he wasn't throwing things around. And somehow that narrative got transferred over to you, which is you're just too lazy to even get me food, right? Or more importantly, and this is where I'm going to say this out loud, guilt is okay, shame is not okay here. Don't take this on, but it's often, it's not uncommon for a kid to ask, why didn't you get me out of there? Or why did this go on for so long? And they don't understand economics. They just understand safety, and they look to you and say, that's your one job. And, right? And so, and that now you have an 11-year-old. And you put on top of that, there were nights y'all went hungry. There were nights. So he has become fixated. He has become compulsive when it comes to food.
Right.
So our tendency is to pathologize the food. We're going to count calories. We're going to say, only this, you need some more protein in that meal. You need some more. I want to try a different approach. Okay. Now, I'm going to say this for a third time, and I won't say it again. All you therapists out there, if you're listening to this going, no, you let me know, write in, and we will, I'll say, hey, I was wrong on this, and we'll change it on the show. But here's what I want you to do. I want you to change his context to his relationship to you and to the entire food ecosystem. Here's what that means.
Okay.
Take him shopping with you and give him 5 things to pick out.
Okay.
Let him be a part of that process. And by taking him to the store, he's going to see how much food there actually is out there. And that what we're giving him is positive memories of an interaction with an adult who's safe now and with food. And we're also giving him teeny tiny bits of controlled autonomy. You have choice. Okay. Let him cook with you, which I know is the worst. Right?
He loves to cook. He loves it.
Awesome. Buy him a couple of cookbooks, not internet recipes. Buy him a couple of cookbooks, or let him pick out a couple of cookbooks. What are you interested in? And read them with him. Lay on his bed with him and flip through the pages and look at them. We call them it's like food pornography, right? It's just like these glossy, beautiful, stunning photos of food that is not real, but it just looks so good. Lay on his bed with him there. Let him help you organize the fridge. Like, sit down, like, hey, where do you think the milk should go? Where do you think the egg should go? I want you to help me with this. We're going to model healthy eating. So it may be that we're going to get sweets out of the house. And you say things like, not Twinkies make you fat or chips make you. You say things like, when I eat chips, I don't feel good. My thinking gets cloudy. My tummy doesn't feel good. And he might say, I think they're great. And you'd be like, oh, they taste so good, but I feel better when and then you've got to model it. Okay. So we're going to focus on mood and performance, not on body composition. See what I'm saying? I don't ever want him to feel like he's broken. And then I'm going to do this. I'm going to send you the questions for humans cards with the kids. And here's why.
Awesome.
I want you guys to slow down at family meals. And if you're not having family meals, that's all got to change. Okay, good. You got to start doing that. But I want y'all to slow down. So maybe it's, as a family, we take one bite and then we put our fork down. And then we're going to answer one card. And we're just going to learn. We're going to learn how to slow down. All of this is creating an ecosystem of safety. And this is my sideways way of getting you to slow down and be highly intentional and not being filled with guilt and shame. Because you are, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yes. Okay. So I want you to take these tools as an entry point into a brand new relationship with your 11-year-old.
Okay.
And this is the hardest part. He knows that part of him is his dad too.
Right.
And that's going to haunt him. So he needs to know extra that he is loved and that he's got value and that he's smart and he's capable. And all of these things are a way to change the entire environment around food.
Okay.
Okay. I also know the lion's share of this falls on you, and you probably don't have a lot of free time. You probably don't have a lot of free extra money laying around. And I understand that this burden disproportionately is something you got to carry. Or if you heard me say everything, you called to ask, how do I help him have a better relationship with food and just stop being so anxious? And my answer was, you have to change your behaviors. See what I'm saying?
Sure.
Because he's just a kid absorbing that home. Ticks, quite honestly, unless they are, they keep him from having normal functioning. Like he is chirping really loud or he's grunting to the point that people in the restaurant are turning to look. I would give that a season, 60 days, 90 days, working on these other things and see if that doesn't begin to begin to heal itself. If it doesn't, then it's time to go. You get to talk to somebody. So how does that all?
I think I'm more worried about. It sounds amazing.
Okay.
I'm more worried about like middle school and kids making fun of him.
Absolutely, yes. And it's okay to say not at the table.
Okay. I don't even think he knows he's doing it.
Yes. And it may just be parental awareness. Hey, you're grunting at the table. What do you mean I'm grunting? Okay. You're making this noise. And it might just be somebody pointing it out to him in love. And you can do it with a smile on your face in a way that he knows it's not, I don't love you less. Just stop doing that.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
And here's another thing. It's okay to say no. He needs to hear you say no and have healthy boundaries. So if he says, I need ice cream, and you say, we're not having ice cream tonight. I'm the mom, and we're not having ice cream tonight. We'll have ice cream once a week on a special night if fill in the blank happens. And he gets mad and throws a temper tantrum's upset, that's okay.
He does. He wanted 2 popsicles, and I said no, and he got really angry.
That's right. That's okay. That doesn't mean you did something wrong. And he has to, his anger is okay. He's allowed to get angry. He's allowed to have his feelings, but he can choose to not have any more popsicles for the rest of the week if he says ugly things.
Right.
That's a choice he's making. You're not punishing him with food. You're saying, hey, if you choose to yell and scream and say something ugly or throw something like his dad was doing, he learned this, by the way. You're choosing not to have popsicles. Don't do that because I love giving you popsicles. One of my favorite things. Right. Don't make that choice. And then he's going to see, hold my beer. I'll see if she's really telling me the truth. And then you got to decide, are you actually going to do that or not? Is that fair?
Right. Yes, absolutely.
I think that you can transform this entire relationship.
Okay.
I may be way out to lunch, and I'm okay with being wrong on this. If this was in my house, this is right where I would start.
Okay.
And by the way, I'm a kid that grew up with a lot of tics.
Really?
Yes, a lot of them. I was an anxious kid, and I was also an exhausted kid. And so I blinked a lot. I would grind my teeth a lot. I would pick my fingers a lot. Like I had a lot of little tics. My friends used to make fun of me. I used to pop my neck a little bit. Like I had all kind of weird stuff. And my buddies used to make fun of me about it all the time, which, by the way, that was their job. They were just being kids. Right. But as an adult, I've been able to track it back almost directly to a lack of sleep. And when I just get off the rails with what I'm eating and I don't move my body, then, man, I start blinking again real hard and I start cracking my neck again. All the things come back from when I was a kid. But it's not the tic itself. It's just to me, it's just an alarm system.
Okay.
Saying you probably need to get some rest, dude. You're starting to, I call it my clicks. I mean, you're starting to click a lot again. And it's pretty rare that happens these days, but it does happen.
Wow. Well, thank you.
Is that cool?
This is very helpful. Yes, this is amazing.
Okay.
And you are the greatest mental health podcast.
Yes, I knew it. If you say it long enough. Okay. Hey, but hear me say, I'm 100% open to being wrong on this. I would love it if you really gave this a go for 30 days and you holler back at me.
Okay.
I'll even have you back on the show and you can say, I did this and this and this, and you're an idiot. This did not work. Or this did and this didn't. And here's why. It may not be food for some parents. It may be clothes. It may be, I don't like these shoes feel weird on my feet. It may be any number of things that become a moment of focus and control for a kid because that's all they can control in the world. It's this tiny little thing. And they're not doing it like to be mean. That's just their bodies have wrapped themselves up in this one decision because everything else in their life is chaos. And so if this works, man, that we could be onto something. Is that cool?
Yeah. Yes. Thank you so much.
Your little one's really lucky to have you.
Thank you.
Are we done with the shame?
Yes.
Promise?
Promise.
So dumb. It's not that easy, I know, but we're done, right? We're done.
Yes.
Awesome. You are the best, Kelly. Let me know how that goes, and I look forward to hearing from you.